let's move on.
Let's go.
I'm excited for this one. Now, the third quarter, as we said at the beginning of the show, we're going to be starting this little mini series. I don't know if we're going to bless you. Editor, cut that out. We're going to be starting this mini series, and I don't know that we'll do this every week, but we will certainly be eventually getting through all 5 positions. We're going to be talking about the greatest players at each position. This week we're starting with the point guards. There's a couple reasons that we wanted to do this series. For me personally, not you, Siri. Me personally, I wanted to do this because I wanted to get to know older players that I had never watched videos of. Mm-hmm. And also last week, or 2 weeks ago, I was blasted, and these two said that my boy, I can't believe I just drove it to this. Anyway, we're not talking about him this week. We're going to be talking about point guards. As I said, we're going to be talking about point guards.
Are you hurt?
Now, what factors are we what are we taking into consideration during when you think about the greatest whatever of all time? What factors are we taking?
I think it's different at every position though. As point guards,
let's talk about what we're taking into consideration for point guards.
Point guards, I don't think scoring has to really be that much of a deal. I think you have to be a leader and a floor general.
Yeah, I agree.
So what does a floor general mean?
Getting the offense together, getting guys in the right spots. That's a big deal. And the good teams have players that get people in the right spots.
And your assists at that point then should be pretty high.
Right. Or some basketball analysts call it the hockey assist too. Passing to somebody else so they can make the next pass. That's important too. So, but they get them in the right positions, the right spots, in the most successful.
I agree there.
How important, especially when you're talking about the top 5 in that position, how important are championships?
They're semi. I won't say very
point guards
important,
need other players around them.
But
to
again,
win
listen to what I'm saying. If you're the top 5 at your position, you're the leader of your team more than likely, right? Mm-hmm. Like, yes, we're gonna have a couple people where these 2 players played together and they're also the top 5 at their position. Right. But if you're the leader of your team, you should be able to win a championship.
No, because point guards need. We've talked about this before with Chris Paul over and over. You have to have more people around.
When you're going to talk about
you have to have
player.
people more around the point guard. Point guard, like he can be the best player if he has nobody to dish to. If he has nobody to set up in the offense, he can't be an effective point guard.
But if that's the case, we shouldn't be considering them in this, right? I'm not talking about any player in particular. But if you can't get your players involved, then you're probably not getting the numbers that would then lead you to being top 5 on this list.
No, because I think the cream rises to the top. No, okay. In our list, no matter what, all of these guys can be considered the greatest point guard of all time, except for the. Yeah.
The greatest?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
What?
No, I sorry. I saw Isaiah Thomas, and I was like, I thought of Isaiah Thomas who used to play the Celtics, so going different. And I was like,
hey, you're peeking the mic right now.
Greatest point guard. He wouldn't.
Why'd you have to laugh so hard?
Because he's not. He wouldn't be considered the greatest.
Man,
That'd be hilarious.
My heart was like.
I didn't mean Isaiah Thomas a bad boy. No. I saw Isaiah Thomas.
We both realized it at the same time.
Right. I saw Isaiah Thomas and I thought about it, and I was like, greatest of all time.
Okay, so what about MVP awards? Can that be factored in?
It could be.
I think it can, but they have to be a really special player.
Okay, what about all-time or all-star teams or all NBA selections?
All-star teams is I mean, you can consider it, but it's more of a popularity.
I feel like all NBA would.
All NBA is
right.
It's more.
Okay. Now, admittedly, what I'm looking at right in front of me is a list that a site has put together of the top 10. Gotcha. So I'm going to be bouncing around as we go through this. Conveniently, the list of 10 that I wrote out and then looked at this list, it's the exact same 10, not in the same order. But that's it. Let's jump into it.
Let's go.
Right. Number 1, Magic Johnson. All right, number 2. No, okay. No,
it really is. It's cut and dry. Like it's over. Johnson. Yeah.
I was watching a highlight.
Magic Johnson's bad, dude.
How come no one plays like that anymore? There's a lot of players on this list.
He's actually Ben Simmons is getting some similarities to Magic.
Where you drive
and I see some things where I watch him and I go, ooh, boy.
Didn't happen.
Dude, calm down. All right, man.
You have to come back on that. And to come back in.
Yeah,
the door has to close. You remember that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you did the same
I was
thing
in there
too.
talking. I was like, he's like, no, wait.
Oh man. All right, we're good. And Ben Simmons.
It's
hilarious.
Bro, Magic is so nasty.
Magic was
Well, now that hit.
Hold on.
I think
See, this is why I like.
I got you.
This is why I usually sit and I'm just like. Because as soon as we start, the door will close. 100%. Now I know they're moving, so maybe it won't. I'll peek out the door and see if. What are all these birds doing out there? Wait a minute. They listen to the show? Come back.
Like, what are you doing out
They're
there?
tweeting.
Right.
Oh.
Oh.
All right,
That's
we're gonna regret this, but go ahead and pick it up.
So Ben Simmons already compares to Magic Johnson. People were saying
Like
if you, it's more so you have to look at the eye contest. When you
Okay.
watch Ben Simmons grab a rebound and then take it coast to coast, it really does look very similar to Magic Johnson.
What I noticed is that most of the time now, when players drive into the lane, they're throwing up a ball or throwing an alley-oop.
Right.
Whereas Magic drove into the lane, and you're like, all of the defenders are like, "Who's he passing to? Who's he passing to?"
But not only that, Magic Johnson had the fundamentals of get it the ball in the middle,
Right.
Have the rings. The
Right.
rings were running like it was deadly, and everyone was like, "I don't know how to stop that." Like
Yeah, you
you
can't.
can't.
He was by far the best point guard.
Yes.
Period.
Yes,
So,
he was.
so let's talk about some numbers since we went ahead and talked about this. He's a 5-time champion. That's impressive. That's 80, 82, 85, 87, 88. He's a 3-time MVP. 87, 89, 90. 3 times Finals MVP. 12-time All-Star. 10-time All-NBA selection. Obviously, he's in the Hall. 19.5 career points per game. 11.2 assists per game. 7.2 rebounds per game. 52% field goal percentage. That's a monster.
And to think he really didn't have that good of a jump shot.
No.
He didn't.
No.
And he dominated without a jump.
But what he had, yeah, the hook shot.
The hook and
That
his
hook
eyes.
shot was every time.
Yep.
I mean, that was one of the most automatic shots in NBA history.
Yep.
You're right.
I mean,
Unstoppable. It's unstoppable.
I think about that. I think about Dirk's
Little fadeaway, yeah.
Dirk's fadeaway. I think about Tim Duncan's
Bank shot.
Like,
But see, Magic was so good because he had that, but he also had good, strong fundamentals.
Right.
Because he was the best fast break player I've
I
ever
don't like
seen.
that you just said "but" after I said Tim Duncan, who is the big fundamental. But I don't think you meant anything by it. It's
No, I
just the
didn't.
way my brain
We're talking
connected the two
We're
thoughts
talking about
together.
Magic Johnson.
Okay, I got you. You disrespecting Tim Duncan?
I never said that. There's
Okay.
never words.
Okay, I was
Ever since I talked about Paul Pierce, he's
Defensive.
shy over there.
Defensive.
this isn't a shot.
Defensive.
Magic Johnson is the best point guard of all time.
By far.
Period.
Yeah. Yes.
Who's number 2? Let's talk about some other players because here's the thing: we can talk. Let's order them after we talk about them.
Okay.
Because we know who number 1 is, and in the next position we'll know who number 1 is, and then I
Yes.
feel like in the next position we'll know who number 1 is, and then the last 2 positions I feel like it won't be as automatic. It might be, but anyway, let's talk about some more. I'm just gonna go down this list. Steve Nash, considered all time. Where? Siri, shut up.
I think he's in the bottom of
bottom
that 10.
nine.
But
Bottom
he's,
of the top 10.
man, some of his passes, man, you watch him make it, you be like, how did
passing.
He was
how
doing.
did he do
I would say
that?
he's probably, well, outside of Steph, best shooter. Outside of Steph.
Oh, yeah.
He was 50, 40, 90. You know. You had 1, 2 MVPs. I think one of them should have been.
I don't know if he should have won either. I don't hold on. So he won.
What year are you talking about?
He won.
Was it 2000 and
He won MVP in 05 and 05 and 06.
I think it was But I mean, his team was better. You know what I'm saying? So I get it.
And it's a regular season award.
Right, it's regular season award.
Yeah.
Steve Nash, the only thing with him was he was a defensive liability. Didn't really play defense.
Yep. Sure was.
But I mean, he's 9-10.
He's in the range.
Did you like him when he was on the Mavericks?
Yeah, I like Steve Nash.
So, anything else to say about him?
For sure.
Yeah.
Nah, that's bad.
So he was a 2-time MVP, as we've said, 8-time All-Star, 7-time All-NBA selection, 14 points per game. That wasn't really his thing. He was a shooter, but he was more get Stoudemire of the ball. He was more get Stoudemire of the ball. 8.5 assists per game, 3 rebounds per game. All guy like Steve. Not bad. Again, rebounds really to me, point guards, rebounds. That's an extra stat.
Gotcha.
It does say that he was a 43% 3-point shooter. That's impressive. That's impressive. All right, next one. Oh, Jesus. I mean, yeah, so the next one is Chris Paul.
Here you go.
Lamar?
Oh, I want to hear you talk. I want to sit back for a second.
Talk about Chris Paul. Go first.
We're talking regular season. I totally think Chris Paul deserves to be on. Because Chris Paul is one of the best regular season point guards of all time. Top 10. I don't know if I put him in my top 5. But I could see it like a 7 or 8. I might put him above Steve Nash, who also never won a championship. That wasn't.
I put him over Steve Nash.
Okay.
He plays defense.
I'm
listening. I'm listening to you. I'm ready to pounce on you. I'm waiting.
No, but again, I think he absolutely deserves to be on this list.
Let me ask you a question. Who is Chris Paul other than this past year playing with Harden? Who has he had to play with that's been a quality player?
Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan.
That's a quality player.
I did not hesitate.
Yes, you did.
No, I did not.
I know you.
Play it back.
I know you just didn't say.
Play it back.
I know you just didn't say Blake Griffin out of your mouth.
I did. He was a quality player, and so is DeAndre Jordan until he gets to the free throw line.
Not Blake Griffin was bad at the free
just
throw
a
line
warning,
too.
DeAndre can't shoot free throw.
Blake Griffin was bad at that line too. They both were terrible.
They're both bad.
So what happened would be Chris Paul would set them up, and if they didn't finish, they would get fouled, and they at best make 1 of 2. At best.
Who did he have in New Orleans?
Him and David West.
David West.
That was it.
There had to be.
Can't name another player on that team.
There had
You can't name another player on that
team. They
team.
had Anthony Davis.
No.
Nope.
That was after.
It was him and David West.
Y'all really didn't notice that I was joking there.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, okay.
It was,
all right, cool.
Just
leave me out to dry.
It was Chris Paul and David West on the pick and roll.
And David West made it all.
Right. That was it. That's all they had. That was David West. That was David West's
That was the best years.
Right.
So you're really suggesting that Chris Paul's playoff deficiency is because he didn't have any players around.
Yes. Wait a minute. None of those seasons that Chris Paul that he was on that they lost, none of them were his fault. Not on one of those. Not on one of those seasons where what you can say Chris Paul lost that series. No.
He lost this year.
And it's Chris Paul's fault?
I mean, he got injured.
Come on, man. He can't help that. Anyway, can we move on to the next?
Boy, woo! Woo! Are you serious? I can't believe you just said that.
Can we move on?
So Lamar, where do you think Chris Paul would be all-time point guards?
Okay, he's got to be in the 6 to 7 range right now.
You think he's 6 to 7?
Yeah.
I said 7 to 8.
Here's why he plays. His defense is very elite. He can really play some defense.
Yes. When we go over numbers in a minute, I got a number to back.
So we're talking about the ultimate floor general, who's not very large in stature, but he can do everything: shoot, pass, rebound, get the offense set, and play defense.
I can't argue.
I give him 7.
I can't believe you just.
Yeah,
you were so disrespectful about Chris Paul.
No, you pointing out and really making me think about that he hasn't had anybody aside from those couple years where Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, Doc Rivers, like they should have had something, right?
Yep.
They should have had something.
Kept that team together way too long.
Okay?
Yes, I agree. I don't know.
To wrap up talking about Chris Paul.
Okay.
8-time All-Star, 7-time All-NBA, 7-time All-NBA defense.
Yep.
That's big.
Yep.
That's big. And of course, Rookie of the Year. 18.7 points, 9.9 assists. That's awesome. That's awesome. Also 2.3 steals. Okay, moving on. John Stockton. Woo! We are on a list of not winning championships.
For sure.
I had a ring.
We are on I did not mean to do that. There are 4 in a row here that did not win a championship. So anyway.
That doesn't mean that they're not great.
I didn't say they weren't.
Magic won a ring.
Yeah, don't be.
Steve Nash through Jason Kidd.
Jason Kidd won a ring
With the Mavs.
Oh, I forgot about that. I'm sorry.
Disrespectful.
So John Stockton.
for me.
John
John Stockton's in my top 5.
He's in 5.
He's 3 or 4.
Yeah, he's definitely way up there. So
John
It's
Stockton's
cerebral too.
Yeah.
Like,
how come he couldn't? How come he didn't win championship?
play Jordan.
Exactly.
He was going.
He played Jordan.
Ain't no
I
other
mean,
excuse because if it weren't for Jordan, they would have won 2.
Yeah.
They would have won 2
They would've won 2
championships.
rings.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
he played Jordan.
Can't do anything.
he
about it.
is the all-time leading assists by a long shot. A long shot.
Dude, him and Karl Malone were.
Oh my gosh.
That was.
That pick and roll was dirty.
Yes.
Man.
But I mean,
I think that was the best pick and roll to ever. I don't know another pick and roll that was more dangerous than
that was pretty vicious.
because Malone could hit that
He had the
mid range.
yeah.
That was so good, and then when he rolled too, it was dangerous. So
Yeah.
man, whew. Yeah.
Your excuse is you play Jordan, and I can't. I can't hold that against you.
Well,
But I put him in my top. He's in my top 5 for sure.
Oh yeah,
For
for
sure.
sure. Yeah.
Like,
And the thing with these older guys, Magic Johnson, John Stockton, their field goal percentage was so high. It was so much higher than it is now.
right, because I'm going to cut you off, but basically a lot of the point guards these days are scoring point guards, so they're taking a lot more shots.
Right.
But Stockton and
Stockton
Magic,
only averaged
they were,
13 points
and
a
Kidd
game.
too. Kidd was cerebral with
When
he scored. When they scored,
yeah.
they were very like, okay, this kid can get you a triple double like that.
Oh, for sure.
Segue.
He was not quite.
No.
The other thing with John Stockton, I think the reason, because I feel like John Stockton's a little underrated
No, he's very underrated.
because he was so
Absolutely.
quiet,
Yep.
because he just did his thing,
Yep.
and so I don't know. I think he's up there. Where
He's
would
top
you
5.
put him?
He's top 5.
Top 5?
Top 5.
Is there like a specific in there that you want to
3 or 4.
Yeah.
I'll put him
Yeah.
3 or 4.
Yeah.
That's the exact same for me.
Yeah.
3 or 4.
I feel like 3 or 4. So to wrap up for him, he's a 10-time All-Star, 11-time All-NBA, 5-time All-NBA defense. I feel like when you get that All-NBA defense, that's a big deal.
Yep.
Well, Jerry Sloan, he was going to
Oh,
play.
yeah.
They're going to play some
Sloan,
defense
yeah,
up in
Sloan.
Utah.
13 points per game, 10.5 assists per game, 38%.
Yep.
Cannot argue with John Stockton being up there. All right, Jason Kidd. I'll be honest, this one for me is on the bubble. This one for me is on the bubble.
I can see why you say that, but I think he is top 10. But I can see why you say that.
I obviously didn't remember that he was an NBA champion, though.
Remember?
He played well with the Mavs. I mean, he wasn't like a.
So
I
how
wouldn't say
his
he was
role?
a key
No,
cog.
no,
but
he was.
But he was solid.
Yeah,
He was the
solid.
starter. He was the starter.
He was solid.
Was that when JJ Barea was
JJ Barea came off the bench.
He was the-
was backup. Yeah,
it was
scoring
Kidd.
punch.
Yeah, Kidd.
Yeah.
scoring punch? Didn't he punch somebody?
No.
No, he got punched.
That was
He
Bynum.
got punched.
Oh, that's
He got
right.
punched.
He got punched. I remember
Bynum
that.
pushed my hair, man.
Bonham. Yeah, Bonham.
Yeah, that's when we swept him.
Yeah, that was when they swept the Lakers, and I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
man. I admit it was bad.
I mean,
Can I wear a Dallas shirt?
I
man,
mean, you'll feel that way when y'all don't win the championship and Kyrie gets traded.
Ooh. But I mean, I like Jason. I mean, Jason Kidd is.
At least we're gonna be in the playoffs.
Oh, wait, hold on. Did you say Lakers ain't gonna be in the playoffs?
So anyway, we were
Wait,
talking about
wait,
Jason
wait,
Kidd.
no. You're not getting away with this one. No.
Jeremy,
Did you just say the Lakers aren't going to
I
the
forgot what I was
playoffs?
about to say.
Jeremy,
You said the Lakers aren't going to the
talk to-
playoffs.
talk to-
Answer my question, David.
Talk to us about Jason
Are the
Kidd.
Lakers not going to the playoffs?
Talk to us about Jason Kidd.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, he was not with the Lakers at that point?
Who?
Oh, Mavericks. They won in 11.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
So no, I was just saying Jason Kidd is he was a do it all. And he could rebound. He's a Good defender. He passed the ball.
So literally the sentence I just read was he's the most versatile point guard in NBA history. I just happened to be looking down when you said that.
Yeah.
I'm curious because I feel like he didn't really get a good jump shot until late in his career. If he had done that earlier, man.
He still made
Jason
he still made the
been,
fifth most threes in NBA.
Yeah,
Right,
he would have,
right.
man.
Yeah.
He used to get a lot of triple doubles. He's one of those whenever you see like Russell Westbrook stats come up because he loads the score sheet. You always see Jason Kidd up there somewhere.
Magic.
Jason Kidd career stats: 12.6 points per game, 6.3 rebounds, 8.7 assists, 1.9 steals. He did everything.
Yep. Except coach.
Oh. Hey,
Oh,
Steve,
man.
bump into me real quick. Bump into me.
Oh, man. That's terrible. Well, I can't.
You can't
argue that.
Yeah.
But I think he's bubble, so he would be like the 9-10, maybe even 10 for me.
I wouldn't put him over. I wouldn't put Steve Nash over him. I would probably bump Steve Nash.
Yeah, I'd bump Steve Nash down and
Okay.
Kurt.
Yeah.
That's why I said 9-10.
Gotcha.
That's why I said
I got you.
9-10. So you guys agree? 9-10?
Gotcha.
9 or 9. You might just straight up say 9.
Right.
So 10-time All-Star, 6-time All-NBA, 9-time All-NBA defense. Did you know that? 9-time All-NBA defense.
I'm not surprised.
Co-rookie of the year. Co-rookie. Yeah, that was in 94. They don't do that now.
They should have with Mitchell
and of course,
Simmons.
Mitchell and Simmons.
Yeah.
One championship. What?
No, you said we should have had the co-rookie of the year with Simmons. That's what he said.
I did
Simmons
say that.
And Tatum.
Simmons and Mitchell.
Hey, rookie of the year? No, man, come on.
Shout outs to NBA 2K for putting them all at the
gosh.
same ranking.
You act like, look, Jason Tatum played one season, all right?
Hey,
He
just
played
because
one
Ben
season.
Simmons played 2 doesn't mean anything.
He didn't play.
He didn't play two.
Yeah, he didn't
He
play
shut up
two.
for
Yes.
Ben,
Come on.
okay,
You're telling me that Jason
Yes,
Tatum
yes.
has as just as good a season as those two.
regular season, no.
That's what the award is based on.
All right. So moving on to the
Please.
next one is
Can't believe you keep
none
going down this
other
road.
than the potentially one of the best shooter of all time,
Oh,
Stephen Curry.
Oh yeah.
Stephen Wardell.
I feel like when the words come out of your mouth, the best shooter of all time, you're obviously on this list, and you're
He's top
obviously
five.
top.
He's top 5 for me because even though he kind of is at times defensive liability, the fear that he puts when he steps on the court is so much. I haven't seen anybody quite do it like he puts fear.
Well,
You had Michael do it too, of
Because
course.
he's gonna make it.
Yeah.
Right, and it was the fact that if he crossed half court, man, I don't know what he can finish
Michael-
too at the rim. Like,
Well, the thing is, like, if we're talking about Michael, like, Michael, you knew he was gonna do something.
right.
With Steph, you know he's going to shoot it at some point and it's going to go in. With Michael, you're like, I really don't want to be a part of a logo one day. So,
You might
like,
get postered, yeah, that's right.
you're like, Michael.
true.
If you, and with Steph, you're just like, all right, I got to try and get. Oh, he shot that from 800 feet. How did he see the rim? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but he is a defensive liability.
But here's the other
That
thing,
might
though.
bring it down a lot.
You're right, but here's the other thing. Steph Curry, his off the ball screens and things like that. There was no other point guard that could do what he did and bring the ball up. So he's dangerous both ways.
You know, I want to say that him being a defensive liability takes away from it. But when his team scores so much that they just
But I'm telling, it's the fear because what happens then is when he was on defense, they were like, I got to make this shot because if I don't, he's going to make it the next time we come
Right.
down the court. So it was almost like the best offense is your best defense.
Yep.
Like, you know?
yeah, you're not wrong. So I think Steph is 3-4.
He has to be. I think he's that
I give him
important.
top 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
I give him 5.
Okay, so you're
give
saying 5.
That's fair.
Okay,
That's fair.
okay.
That's fair.
I'm excited
I mean,
to the end of
information
this
is
quarter
seen,
so we
like
can
Steph, but, I mean,
number it up.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Okay, so I just realized that these numbers might not be accurate. It says 1 championship. Incorrect. So anyway, he has 2 MVPs, right? Does he have 1?
He's not just at one. But I could be wrong.
I don't know. He's
could
got a
be wrong.
number of MVPs. He's made
No,
the
you might
All-Star
just say
bunch. He's made the All-NBA team a bunch. Yeah, this article was obviously made a couple years ago. He's got a couple championships. As of this
Three.
There's
Yeah, he's got three.
Three.
Okay.
As of this date, when this was written, he was 21 points per game, 4 rebounds. That's impressive. Small guy. Curry,
6'3".
and 7 assists per game at 44% 3-point. What the heck? How do you shoot 44 out of 100 in a game? That's crazy.
At his rate that he's shooting them, too. You know, that's the... Whew.
All right, the next one was the one that I was the most unfamiliar with, and that is Walt Frazier.
Yeah.
Or Clyde.
Oh, Clyde Frazier.
It's
So,
smooth, man.
Knicks.
Smooth.
Very smooth.
Mm-hmm.
That shot was so quick. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Whenever he would just dribble and, you know, you see the defender there, and then all of a sudden the ball's in the air, and you're like, can't jump. They gonna look stupid. I ain't gonna jump.
They were talking about with him. There's another player out in here. We'll talk about this, but his ball handling was what really
Right.
you know, made him so good.
This is a hard one because again it's a time that we weren't we're not super familiar with.
Yeah.
I would put him 8.
We're in the middle, 5 to 8, around there.
7, 8 probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
He's a good player.
7-time All-Star, 6-time All-NBA, 7-time All-NBA defense, 2-time champion, 18.9 points, 5.9 rebounds, 6.1 assists at 49% shooting.
Last time the Knicks were relevant.
Oh man, that was so. Oh man,
It was.
Was it really? You don't give any love to
the
Ewing era. I was like, that's cool, man. That's cool.
I like, LJ and Spreewell.
Right, like, come on, like, there was, I know what you're saying.
No,
like,
come
on,
also,
man.
one thing I saw with Frazier was his off court. You see, he got this suit.
Oh, man, he had
these shades.
Smooth.
He
He was
was
smooth, man.
on and off the
He was
court.
smooth, yeah.
All right, what does this say? The fashion forerunner to Russell. I'm moving on. So next one. This one deserves some respect.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oscar Roberts,
of course.
the Big O.
He's top 5.
The one that LeBron, the one that Michael talk about. He's top 2.
Absolutely.
Me.
I put him second because, man, you average a triple-double in the era he did in.
Now, I had heard that, and I did some research into it. Really didn't average a triple-double too often. It was like 3 seasons. It was like 5 seasons. No, excuse me. He averaged a triple-double either 2 or 3 seasons, and then he was off and on with like the assists and rebounds through a couple other years.
Right. But I'm talking about the era. Like now it's, I won't say it's easier, but
it's definitely easier now.
Okay.
Yeah, he's either 2 or 3.
Yeah, he's 2.
I mean, there's
he's 2
just no doubt.
To me, he's number 2.
He's not 2.
That's fair. That's fair.
And his speed, he was extremely fast. I'm telling you, there are some highlight videos of Oscar Robertson.
Oh, he's force.
That boy was a thing. So he averaged a triple double in 62, and I think the year before, the year after that, he didn't average. So when they say we'll call him Mr. Triple Double, I think it's just because of that 1 or 2 years. His career averages are 26 points per game, which is the highest that we've seen on this list. 7.5 rebounds, 9.5 assists at 49% field, 49% shooting, averaging 26 points. That's insane. It's
Oscar
He was an MVP. He's a 12-time All-Star.
He's Oscar
Robertson.
Right, he's a bad man.
He's bad.
11-time All-NBA. 1 championship. Moving on. Yeah. Another one from an era that we really didn't watch.
Cousy.
Bob Cousy. The original great point guard. The first great point guard, if you will. Yeah. He was the first great point guard.
I'll give you that. I didn't say anything.
Any thoughts?
Black and white.
literally.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to do that, but yeah.
He is one of the first, yeah.
He's the only guard in NBA history to be named to the first team All-NBA 10 times. You know me and my Celtics. God, I always talk about it. In years that it didn't matter. Anyway, I'm just saying the Lakers won.
Who's number 1 point guard we've already established? Okay.
No.
Sorry, so I just want to make sure.
He didn't hear anything I said. I don't think the mic picked it up either. What I was saying was the Lakers have won so many more championships than the Celtics have, and because I'm the editor, I might take that out.
I got you.
But anyway, I think Bob Cousy at least deserves to be in this list because he was the original great point guard. Yeah. He was the first one to do it. He might be towards the bottom of the list, even though he has 6 championships, which is the most that we've seen. But that was a time. He did most of that before Russell came. No, excuse me. He did all that after Russell came.
I was about to say, that's right after
Russell. Hold on. Sorry, my fault. I got mixed up for a second. He was dominant. He became the first great point guard before Russell came in. The Celtics didn't even want Cousy. The Celtics didn't even want him. But through a trade and they wound up getting him and then proved himself, obviously, over his career to where, we're talking about him now.
Say anything about that?
See, I studied. I didn't study. Woo! I studied. All right, moving on.
Talk about this next
the
guy.
final one, Isaiah Thomas, Mr. 5'9" himself, Mr. Fourth Quarter. Talking about the Detroit Pistons, Isaiah Thomas, not the one that I just mentioned, the bad boy.
That's disrespectful that you just talked about.
He has the same name.
No, but 2 different players, man. Come on. Isaiah Thomas had the best handles. I think out of all these,
I think he was,
maybe other than Oscar and Walt, had some of the best
Isaiah
handles.
Thomas, I think, was the toughest.
Man, he was tough.
He was also fast. Is he the fastest?
He was so quick. He was so quick on the court.
But I was just saying, he's like, man.
Fastest crossover I've ever seen.
He was only 6'1".
Yeah, he was.
Is Isaiah, have you ever met an Isaiah Thomas over 6'1"? Are they just like...
It's terrible, man.
I'm just asking
That's
questions.
awful.
I'm just asking questions. So where do you put him?
Small world.
So Lamar, I feel like you really like Isaiah Thomas. Where do you put him?
Don't get me wrong.
I feel
Oscar
like
Robertson's
that's
great.
not how you pronounce his name. I feel like it's different. I feel like it's
Saeed?
Oh my gosh.
No, I feel like it's Isaiah, or it's like it's like
Zeke?
quicker. It's like quicker off of it.
He goes by Zeke.
No, but I really want to put Isaiah 2 or 3.
Whoa!
I know. And so for me, because let me tell you why.
That's fine. Go ahead.
I think the Bad Boy Pistons were that influential on the game. And it was really centered around Isaiah. Like, he was the man. Even though you had Lambeer and you had, those big boys that were obviously... And Isaiah was the one giving it to you. And he was the smallest guy. Him and Vinny,
Man, the Bad Boys came around because they were so mad that they kept losing.
Right. Think about it. Without them, would Michael really have gotten to his...
Michael wouldn't have been...
Right?
Well, because of them, Michael had to step up. And following their 2 championships, when the runs started.
I mean, you had to have Jordan rules that were established by them. That was established by Isaiah Thomas starting it. And
Isaiah Thomas is also the only person in NBA history in an All-Star game to steal his teammates' ball.
I didn't know that. That is true.
Yeah. He had to steal the ball away from Michael Jordan.
But that's just me. I think. But I've also watched a lot of Isaiah when he played, and I was like, that was just no one had seen that kind of athleticism in a while on film, because they were like, man, he's got killer crossovers. Like, who is this guy?
Hold on 1 second. I have to get this right. I had that flipped. Michael had to steal the ball from Isaiah because they wouldn't give it to him.
Right.
Not the other way around.
I got you.
Isaiah
I know
is the only player
in
NBA history in All-Star. I ruined this. In All-Star games to have the ball stolen by his teammate.
Right.
Gotcha. Editor, fix that.
But I just think I saw Fear too, where he was dribbling and people were like, whoa, like he was putting people in the blunder.
Was he the original crossover? No, not quite.
Wow.
No, because that was
his was more in between the legs. He was in and out behind the back.
That's what I'm talking about. It was like when I said crossover, I meant between the legs.
Gotcha. Yeah,
was he the original? But that was after Magic.
No,
that was after Magic.
No, well, of course, Pistol Pete, for sure. But I'm talking about where he would put you in the and then score or assist. Like you didn't know what they were like. I don't know what he's doing. Like when it came back up again. Oh man.
For me, I think Isaiah's. He's in my top 5. I put him number 4. Man, toughness. I think of his ball handling, but his toughness.
All right.
Like, the dude scored 25 in the 4th quarter on a sprained ankle.
Oh Lord, that game against. I watched it and I'm like, I'm a Laker fan. And I'm like, man, he giving the business right now.
25 points on a sprained ankle in the 1 quarter.
Right. All right, we gotta order these guys.
Okay.
Number 1, Magic. Number 2,
For me, it's
Oscar
Robinson.
or Isaiah for me.
Okay,
Oscar.
so Oscar's going to be at our 2 because that's
fair.
2
That's
votes
fair.
for him.
That's fair.
At the 3, because
I guess you'd have to.
are you going Isaiah?
I want to, but
You
I could
do your pick.
Yeah, do you think?
That's hard.
I think Stockton.
Talk
That's
through it.
hard.
Talk through it real quick, or I can talk through mine if you want to think about it for a
I
second.
feel like Stockton was better defensively.
Wait,
But
did
Isaiah
I talk
was
about
the better
Isaiah's?
scorer?
I
don't know.
didn't mention Isaiah's numbers. Finals MVP, 12-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA. No All-NBA defense. Two championships, 19.2 points, 3 rebounds, 9 points.
Let's put Stockton. Yeah, I think overall, when we're talking about pure point guard, you got to put Stockton.
I'm between
Up there.
Stockton and Curry because of what we talked about with defense. Like I'm trying to decide if, but and like I get that, but Curry's team hasn't suffered any because of Steph's defense.
Nope.
It's true, but
That's
But if we're just talking, take one player and just observe that player.
Right.
Stockton is our 3.
right.
4 for me is Steph. Where is it? Steph.
I would put.
put Zeke there. Isaiah.
Oh,
Yeah, I would put
Okay,
Isaiah
that's number
Thomas
Then
and then
yeah,
Steph after
5.
that. Yeah, that's what I would
So
do.
for me, it's Magic, Oscar, Stockton,
and
Isaiah,
then as a group, our number 4 is Isaiah.
Mm-hmm.
And then
then
And then Steph.
Or Steph keep balling like
Oh,
this.
yeah,
he
Steph,
gonna-
yes.
would I put Isaiah that high?
I
Let me
would
think for a second. Let me think for a second.
Go ahead.
Chris Paul's pretty good.
You see what he's trying to do?
I know
You see
he's
what he's
trying to
trying to
do. I know he's trying to do. I'm not gonna fall for it.
Don't fall
Man.
for it.
No, I ain't falling for it.
But for real though, Bob Cousy.
Yeah.
No, he's 10.
I don't think he's 10. He has 6 championships. Can't just fault him because there were just him and Bill Russell. Still won the championship. Still dominated the championship. Don't disrespect Bill Cousy.
No, I'm not. I'm
Bob
not.
Cousy.
I'm just saying. I'm not. I'm saying, is he better
That's
than?
their mixed names.
Okay. I'm sorry. He's better than Jason Kidd.
He's better than Steve Nash.
Right. He's better than Steve Nash. He's not. I don't think he's better than Walt Frazier. I do not.
Okay. All right. Oh, we'll go Steph. So as a group, our number 5, or our 5 are Magic, Oscar, Stockton, Isaiah, Stephen Curry.
Woo! Those are 5 cold.
That is a
players.
that is a
Those are cold
cold.
players, man.
All right. When we come back, we're going to be talking about the best shooting guards. Like when we do this series again, we'll be talking about the best shooting guards in the NBA. Number 1,
Anyways.
Michael Jordan. We'll hit up number 2. We'll talk about 2 through 10
Michael Jordan.
or 2 through 5 next
1,
time.
2, 3, 4, 5. My
5.
God.
1 through 5 Michael Jordan. Then 6. Kobe Bryant.
So when we come back, we'll be talking about small forward.
I got you.